Salam everyone! Welcome to biology class with me, Shiva. Are you excited for a fun learning session? I hope so. Today's lesson is about human nutrition with the jargon Eat Good, Feel Good. Let's get started. First of all, what is nutrition? Nutrition is about eating a healthy and balanced diet. Food and drink provide the energy and nutrients you need to be healthy. Understanding these nutrition terms make it easier for you to make a better food choice. So we next do the need for food. All living organisms need food. An important difference between plants and animals is that green plants can make food in their leaves, but animals have to take it in ready-made by eating plants or the bodies of other animals. In all plants and animals, food is used as follows for growth. It provides the substance needed for making new cells and tissues. And the second one is as a source of energy. It's required for the chemical reaction that take place in living organisms to keep them alive. And the last is for replacement of worn and damaged tissues. The substances provided by food are needed to replace the million of our red blood cells that break down each day, to replace the skin that is worn away, and to repair wounds. Next is balanced diet. A balanced diet must contain enough carbohydrates and fats to meet our energy needs. It must also contain enough protein of the right kind to provide the essential amino acids to make new cells and tissues for growth or repair. The diet must also contain vitamin and mineral salts, plant fiber, and water. Okay, now we are going to energy requirement. Energy can be obtained from carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. The cheapest energy-giving food is usually carbohydrate. The greatest amount of energy is available in fats. Proteins give about the same energy as carbohydrates but are expensive. Whatever mixture of carbohydrate, fat, and protein makes up the diet, the total energy must be sufficient to keep our internal body processes working, like heart beating, breathing action, and then to keep up our body temperature, and last is to meet the needs of work and other activities. And next is protein requirement. Proteins are an essential part of the diet because they supply the amino acids needed to build up of our own body structures. A recent WHO, FAO, or UNU report recommended that an average person needs 0.57 gram protein for every kilogram of body weight. That is, a 70 kilogram person would need 70 times 0.57 equal 39.9. It's about 40 gram protein per day. Next is what is the difference between vegetarians and vegans. Vegetarians and semi-vegetarians, who include dairy products, eggs, and possibly fish in their diets, will obtain sufficient protein to meet their needs. But vegans is who need no animal product, needs to ensure that their diets include a good variety of cereals, peas, beans, and nuts in order to obtain all the essential amino acids to build their body proteins. Okay, next is special needs. The first one is pregnancy. A pregnant woman who is already receiving an adequate diet needs no extra food. Her body's metabolisms will adapt to the demands of the growing baby, although the demand for energy and protein does increase. The baby needs protein for making its tissues. Calcium and vitamin D are needed for bone development, and iron is used to make the hemoglobin and its blood. The second one is lactation. Lactation means the production of breast milk for feeding the baby. The production of milk, rich in proteins and minerals, makes a large demand on the mother's resources. She may need to increase her intake of proteins, vitamins, and calcium to produce milk of adequate quality and quantity. And the last one is growing children. Most children up to the age of about 12 years need less food than adults, but they need more in proportion to their body weight. In addition, Children need extra calcium for growing bones, iron for their red blood cells, vitamin D to help classify their bones, and vitamin A for disease resistance. Okay, next is malnutrition. Malnutrition is often taken to mean simply not getting enough food, but it has a much wider meaning than this, including getting too much food or the wrong sort of food. If the total intake of food is not sufficient to meet the body's need for energy, the body tissues themselves are broken down to provide the energy to stay alive. This leads to loss of weight, muscle wastage, weakness, and ultimately starvation. Extreme slimming diets, such as those that avoid carbohydrates food, can result in the disease anorexia nervosa. And also, coronary heart disease can occur when the diet contains too much fat. If food intake is drastically inadequate, it is likely that the diet will also be deficient in proteins, minerals, and vitamins, so that deficiency disease such as anemia, rickets, and scurvy also make an appearance. Scurvy is caused by a lack of vitamin C or ascorbic acid in the diets. Thus, the symptoms of malnutrition are usually the outcome of a variety of causes, but all resulting from an inadequate diet. Overweight and obesity. These are different degrees of the same disorder. If you take in more food than your body needs or for energy, growth, and replacement, the excess is converted to fat and stored in fat deposits under the skin or in the abdomen. Obese people are more likely to suffer from high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, and diabetes. Having extra weight to carry also makes you reluctant to take exercise. Whatever the cause, the remedy is to reduce food intake to a level that matches but doesn't exceed the body's needs. Taking exercise helps, but it takes a great deal of exercise to burn off even a small amount of surplus fat. Okay, next we are going to the class of food. It will be the last part of our class today. So there are three classes of food: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. In addition to proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, the diet must include salts, vitamin, water, and vegetable fiber. The substances are present in a balanced diet and do not normally have to be taken separately. Carbohydrates. Sugar and starch are important carbohydrates in our diet. Starch is abundant in potatoes, bread, maize, rice, and other cereals. Sugar appears in our diet mainly as a sucrose, which is added to drinks and many prepared foods such as jam, biscuit, and cakes. Glucose and fructose are sugars that occur naturally in many fruits and some vegetables. The second is fats. Animal fats are found in meat, milk, cheese, butter, and egg yolk. Plant fats occur as oil in fruits and seeds and are used for cooking and making margarine. Fats and oils are sometimes collectively called lipids. Then proteins. Lean meat, fish, egg, milk, and cheese are important sources of animal protein. All plants contain some protein, but soybeans, seeds, and such as pumpkin and nuts are the best sources. Protein, when digested, provide the chemical substances needed to build cells and tissues. Examples: skin, muscle, blood, and bones. Neither carbohydrates nor fats can do this, so it is essential to include some proteins in the diet. And next is vitamin. 15 or more vitamins have been identified, and they are sometimes grouped into two classes: water-soluble and fat-soluble. The fat-soluble vitamins are found mostly in animal fats or vegetable oils, which is one reason why our diet should include some of these fats. The water-soluble vitamins are present in green leaves, fruits, and cereals, grains. And then salts. There are sometimes called mineral salts or just minerals. Proteins, carbohydrates, and fats provide the body with carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus, but there are several more elements that the body needs and which occur as salts in the food we eat. Next is dietary fiber. When we eat vegetables and other fresh plant material, we take in large quantity of plant cells. The cell wall of plant consists mainly of cellulose, but we do not have enzymes for digesting substances. The result is that the plant cell walls reach the large intestine or colon without being digested. This undigested part of the diet is called fiber or roughage. The colon contains many bacteria that can digest some of the substances in the plant cell walls to form fatty acids. The fiber itself and the bacteria which multiply from feeding on it add bulk to the contents of the colon and help it to retain water. This softens the feces and reduces the time needed for the undigested residues to pass up the body, but effect helps to prevent constipation and keep the colon healthy. Most vegetables and whole cereals grains contain fiber, but white flour and white bread do not contain much. Good sources of dietary fiber are vegetables, fruit, and wholemeal bread. And the last one is water. About 70% of most tissues consist of water. It is an essential part of cytoplasm. The body fluids, blood, lymph, and tissue fluid are composed mainly of water. Water does act as a solvent and as a transport medium for the substances. Digestion is a process that uses water in a chemical reaction to break down insoluble substances to soluble ones. These products then pass in solution into the bloodstream. In all cells, there are many reactions in which water plays an essential part as a reactant and solvent. And that's all for me. Thank you. If you have any suggestion, you can leave it in comment below. See you!